Joining us now is Florida Congressman Greg Steube. Congressman, good to see you, and thanks so much for coming on. So here we are again. We had all these various variants. Delta variant was one of the most concerning ones. Now you've got Omicron here. We've got a travel ban from the White House, a travel ban on 8 African countries, South African countries. But we know reported cases there in Canada, UK, Australia. What are your thoughts on this, and what do you expect to hear from the president today?
Well, the first thing that I would say in response to Tony Fauci is the only person that's damaged science has been Anthony Fauci. When this pandemic started off, it was you don't need to wear a mask. Nobody needs to be walking around with masks on. Then it was everybody needed to have masks on. And we've seen now with research that the cloth mask can't prevent a virus from being transmitted. So it really has no effectiveness. Now, the N95 and the KN95 masks have more effectiveness, but it's not a cure-all. And then it was the vaccines. Everybody has to get the vaccines, not to get vaccinated. It's the misinformation that has been coming out of Tony Fauci that has damaged science, that has led to American people questioning what they should do and what they should not do. So now, if you read the reports from this Omicron variant, the doctors in South Africa are saying that the symptoms are more mild than the other things that they've seen and the other variants that they've seen. So why are we going to then again be shutting down our country, going through all of this that we went through for the past 2 years for something that has more mild symptoms that we have experienced?
Yeah, a doctor in South Africa is saying exactly that these are mild symptoms, those that she's seen with Omicron, some sore muscles and a slight cough. No deaths reported. Again, yet here we are. And I just to bring you the opposite of where I know you're in Florida. New York City now has a mask advisory back in effect as of this morning. So in all indoor settings, regardless of vaccination status, they have strongly advised you now put back on the mask in New York City. State of emergency declared in the state of New York there. And also you can't have elected surgeries now in the upcoming days, according to the governor of New York State. I mean, how polarizingly different is that from that of Florida to that of New York?
Well, and there's absolutely no science to back up what New York is doing. Look at Florida. We have the lowest per capita COVID rates right now than anywhere else in our country. And we haven't had a mask mandate here at any point in time. Our businesses are open. Our kids have been in school for almost over a year now. And so you have your own test sample of 22 million people here in Florida that don't have mask mandates, that don't have vaccine mandates, and we have the lowest COVID positivity rates per capita than any other state in the country. And so you now have democratically run states and cities who are going back to 2 years ago and shutting down our economy. And it's absolutely atrocious that we're going to go back to this type of behavior. In the beginning, it was 3 weeks to stop the spread. Remember that? 3 weeks to stop the spread. Here we are almost 2 years later, still facing vaccine mandates, mask mandates, and democratically run cities and states wanting to shut down their economies. And Florida is proving in point, in facts, and in numbers that is not a scientific approach to addressing this virus. Encourage people who are high risk to get the vaccine and let people live their lives and react and have personal responsibility to react accordingly.
Yeah, I believe I've seen the recent report that Florida has the lowest cases per capita now in our nation.
In the entire country.
In the entire country. Clearly, Florida must be doing something right. If you look at the science, yeah, and Dr. Fauci's the science, as he says. That would show you that. Finally, just really quickly, it's not just the advisories like a mask advisory, et cetera. You know what it is, too, Congressman, is fear. If people turn on their TVs and they see a new variant out there, they're going to stay home. They're not going to want to go to a retail store during Christmas. The ones that are actually scared, they're not going to. If you put enough fear, they're going to stay in home, do their shopping at home, order food at home.
And this administration would love nothing more than to continue to stoke fear in this nation and to the American people. To then give an excuse to do another $1.9 trillion next January. Oh, it's the Omicron variant. We need to spend another $1.9 trillion on another COVID bill that's going to, again, increase inflation and have huge economic impacts on our entire nation and our states. I would look to the leadership of states like Florida, look at the facts, look at the numbers, look at the positivity rates that we're seeing in states that aren't shut down, that have continued to operate with their kids in school without mask mandates and without vaccine mandates. And the truth is right there in the facts if you compare those states' actions.
All right, and we'll see. And again, taking case by case, we are told by health officials 2 weeks we should know if your vaccines are effective against this variant or not. I just want to read this final quote. WHO says there is currently no information to suggest that symptoms associated with Omicron are different from those other variants. That's not from me or the congressman. That's from the World Health Organization. But yet you've seen travel bans, mask advisories, state of emergencies already in some lead states there. Congressman Steube, thank you for your time.
Yeah, good to see you.
You too.